What is up, Soul Fam? This is Chris here with Soldier of Life, talking to you guys from Chiang Mai, Thailand currently. This is going to be episode one in my first series of The Perception of Power. And basically, we'll title this one Changing Your Thinking. It basically, it's a concept that I used to think about a lot. It just grasps on how people are identified by not the things that they do, but the way that they think. There's a lot of quotes that back it up. That if there's one quote that says, if you took all the money in the world and gave it to all the poor people in the world, or one person or whatever, it says basically by the end of time, in a matter of time, it would just end back into the same hands of the people that it started in with. So basically, it goes to show that it's not really what you have or your work ethic is and stuff like that. It's the way that you think ultimately that gets you the success or doesn't get you the success that you want in life, or basically it forms and frames who you are. Yep. So basically, today was a pretty good day. I hung out with another YouTuber, well, a couple of YouTubers that I know, and we're just hanging out today. And this first part of this podcast is just, we're going to keep it light. It's just going to be like a little introduction. And then the second part is we're going to do a conversation that we had over vegan lifestyle and a couple other things. And the reason that I found this to be important and why I added this to my podcast is because just like a couple of years ago, when I was during certain phases of my life, and I know we all go through certain phases in our life where certain things we think are important and then it's not so important later, and then we think something else is important. It's just a part of life, a part of growing up. But I put a lot of precedence on things that I personally think now really don't matter. So, why it's important is I found that in this conversation where we're talking about veganism and the new revolt to eat less meat, and then how it's become more popular and stuff like that in pop cultures and everything, but it's important. We're not just talking about doing stuff because of a fad, but it's making an industry that is not so glamorized or talked about or popularized. Basically, taking small steps in order to have a more sustainable future. But thinking in this way, it's just funny. Just a couple of years ago, well, I would just say when I was in the military, I never thought about this. I mean, it was all about eating, getting it in, eating food. I love meat and, ribs. Like every Fridays that we have downrange, we had lobster night and steak night, and we just eat like 3 or 4 ribs. And like you don't really take an account of the things that you're doing, but it's just because of your mind frame, and my perception at the time, or the things that I was thinking about, what I found important was just that, it's all about steak night on Fridays, only because it was like, yes, this is a big event and everybody went, and, all my military members that are deployed, they would understand what I'm talking about. But it's just how I perceived the world at the time, because I really didn't take a grasp in account of, the entire world and stuff like that. It's just those are the things that I found to be important. Steak night was my night. That's just what it was. So really, what I'll be writing and talking about is just how perceptions frame who we are. It frames the people that are around us. It frames how we think about the world and how we perceive the things that other people do with taking accountability. It's specifically important when you're in different cultures or you go to different countries. You have to know that the one thing that you do that you think is normal within your country or whatever you do, it's taken or perceived by somebody else in a different light. So basically, I'll be summing that up for a little while. It's especially important while I'm here in Asia that, as an American, a lot of Americans, just last week, actually, there was a American gay couple of guys that exposed their bottoms at one of the temples and took a picture just to post it on Instagram. Now, while we all know that, our culture, or the American culture or Western society is all about, the shock factor and doing things to shocking all people and stuff, and that's what we hold to be important, but not taking account of the culture that they're currently in, visiting or living or whatever the case may be, that they hold, the things that they hold sacred and dear to them are a little bit different. So it's really like, who was right and wrong in that situation? I mean, these guys were trying to take a picture of themselves, which maybe can get them go viral. I really don't know, but they weren't taking in account the other culture that they were in. So their perception now of Americans might be more negative because of what they've done. But, who's really right and this wrong in this situation? It's all about the gray areas. But it's basically what we hold of value. And I just want to get some more people thinking about that, because I think a lot of people just go through life and they don't understand, why can I get to what I want to do? Just like I said in one of my videos, a lot of my friends started asking me, how did I get to travel so much? And I just tell them, it's, what do you really value, man? Anybody can do what I'm doing. I used to think the same way before. And then I started meeting different people that were doing some things that I was interested in, what I wanted to do. I started meeting people that were successful in it, some people that were not so successful in it, and I took bits and pieces from each side, and I tried to portray it into a way in which I found it would be valuable, or how I think I would be able to succeed in, the goals that I thought were important. But a lot of people just, they say stuff and they feel like they're stuck, or they don't know how to get out of the situation they're in. And it's funny, like I tell people all the time, it's like everything, 9 times out of 10, everything that you're going through, if that you've been through, somebody has also been through it, if not worse than what you have. And they either documented it, or they've posted a video about it, or they wrote something about it, or your friends have gone through it and you want to ask them. But the thing about it is, you don't want, you listen to a lot of things. Like if I was on YouTube and I wanted to watch a video that says how would I have a better, how to have a better conversation, how to introduce myself to somebody I don't know, I can watch one video on this topic and try to gain as much knowledge as I can. But what we tend to do is watch 75 videos on the same topic. And what that does is overloading your brain with information. You take in a lot of stuff, but you don't comprehend. You're not putting together the, you're not taking the learning blocks, or the little small chunks of learning that you can from a video, and applying it to your life in a slow manner. You take a whole bunch of information, try to shove it all in, as fast as you can. And the perception is, it seems like the more you watch, the more you do all this stuff, that you'll be able to get it really fast. But that's not really how it works. You know what I'm saying? I know it was one video that I've seen. It was a motivational video, and it was, well, actually it was on another topic, but it was saying, if you take one video and you watch the video on whatever you're trying to do, or you take one book and you read this book, or you take one audio book and you listen to it, and you take one nugget from whatever they're trying to teach you, and you apply that into your everyday life, just one nugget, and you apply that in your life for the whole day, or a week, or 1 month, that would help you substantially more than it would if you tried to cram in a bunch of information at one time. But we think the more that we see this stuff, the more that, and it's good to indulge yourself in it, but you really have to take the small nuggets and use those as you're learning in a learning process. You know what I'm saying? So if you're trying to learn a language, you're not going to try to learn the vocabulary of 500 words in one day. You're going to learn 4 or 5 words a day, and then you're going to use them throughout the day and try to apply it to a sentence. Then you're going to learn a couple more words the next day and try to apply that to a sentence, and and so on. So learning and growing is a gradual process, and that's where we're going to spin this off. The conversation coming up is a fellow YouTuber. Her name is Pink Dragon Fruit Travels, and we were just talking about I I was explaining to them about a vegan documentary that I've seen, and I personally, I made a video also coming up about my vegan journey, if you will. But I took everything that I've read or I've seen from that documentary and I applied it. And I was like, it's a thought process and it took me a while to digest the information. But I never would have thought about that before I watched it. And my perception of just the meat industry and my eating habits and the stuff that I ingest in my body, it totally changed. After I did my transformation video, I was eating a lot of chicken because I did my diet naturally with no proteins and stuff like that. So I already had to change my diet, but after seeing that, now it makes me want to eat a little bit more cleaner. But now we were just talking how it's funny how my perceptions have changed about the world, and in turn it's changed to make me a different person than what I was, which is very powerful. So I'm going to leave it with that. And yeah, coming up is the conversation that we had, and it's pretty cool. And yeah, see you guys later.
I just changed my diet. What is it? Like 6 months now since we travel. Yeah, maybe like 6 months.
Yeah, and it's not like, I think it's, because I went with my buddy, like I have a video where we went to like the vegan day, like Vegan Fest, like the World Vegan Fest in Australia. And we went there, and it was a cool event. But like when we were there, it felt like vegan was like a cult. So like, you know what I'm saying? That's the part that gets you out of it.
Cultures can be quite militant about.
Yeah, like
black and white.
Yeah, like we were there, and like they were doing, because like the guy that I follow, he does like calisthenics, so he's promoting like body workouts, and he's promoting like eating vegan, so you can gain muscle and get big, but eat vegan for protein sources is okay. We went there. And then they were like, oh, these guys do calisthenics. Oh, I did it for 2 years, and I turned vegan 6 months ago. They were like, good job. Yay. Like a little kid. I was like, I don't know. It's like, hi, I'm Kris, and I turned vegan 12 months ago. Yeah. And it was like, yo, stop, man. Like
kind of like Alcoholics Anonymous.
Exactly. That's how it felt. And it was that feeling. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I was telling them, I was like, I appreciate it, and I see it for sustainability reasons. Like, well, just to reiterate, it's like, it's showing how meat products, like in order to feed, basically to feed one cow to the mature stages to where they're butchered and then fed for meat and stuff like that, it would take like 7 billion pounds of vegetation food. It would take like how many gallons of water, you know what I'm saying? But all that could be feeding people instead of feeding the animals that we're going to eat anyway. You know, so it's like for us to sustain on Earth, and plus the methane gases that they're putting out, depleting our ozone layer. So it's like for sustainability purposes, if you were vegan, you know, or if everybody stopped eating meat, which is obviously that would never happen because everybody in the world's not going to do anything. But if you stop eating meat, you'll be able to feed 10 billion more people. There's 7 billion people in the world, so basically it would cure world hunger in a sense. You know, you still have poverty and stuff like that, obviously, but we'd be able to feed way more people. And it was just saying that stuff, and it just got me thinking.
แบบนี้ใช่ไหมคะไม่เอาไม้เนาะ
ครับถูกต้องครับ protein here.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a super interesting documentary, man. I was like, and it just made sense to me, you know. And it's not like, oh, thank you very much. But it's not in essence that like I'm gonna eat eggs, you know, until I figure out how to do it. But I just want to be conscious of eating more vegetables because it just makes more sense, you know.
Yeah.
It's okay for put lime on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just started recently testing not eating meat just in the past week or two, and I think when I start to think about it and like feel about it, the thing that gets me the most is how I objectify animals the most, and like don't even think about them as living beings. And I'm not like this huge like pet kind of person, but like just I don't know, how is it, you know, like in the United States, if you're abusive to a cat or a dog, you can get like tons of time in prison, right? But like the terrible conditions that we put cows or pigs in, like what's the difference between them? So it's just identification. It's kind of that we identify more with cats and dogs, and and
Things
thinking
that
of
actually
our
stay
pets,
with us in our house.
Yeah, but
they look at
like
them
it's
as
so
kids.
unfair
Yeah.
that we elevate these animals to this level, but we objectify other animals, and I just think like that's kind of fucked up that I can do that so easily and not even have any kind of sense or connection with the animal. So
And that's the thing. It makes you more. It was in the documentary too, but it also was saying like it will make people more human. Because just like you're saying, like you're talking when you see an animal like a pig or something, and then when I was just case in point, I was in. I'm not a real animal person either, but I was in. Where was I? I was in Afghanistan at the time, and there was a guy come up there, like one of the workers or whatever, one of the local nationals, and they were just up there and they were talking blah blah blah. So he had this lamb. He took this lamb. We're not eating meat, but took this lamb out of it and just like nothing, and just looking at it, I was just like he did that with no fucking remorse, like whatever.
He
man.
killed the lamb in front of you.
Yeah, and then he just went to cutting everything on it and basically like a butcher shop, And it was just but when you do that, it totally like objectifies you from thinking of that as like being cool and unusual or however you want to think about it, but it's like it takes you out of the sense like you're immune to it. Just like when we see like people ask me like, oh, the states and killings and stuff like that. It's because we got so immune to it that it's like nothing, like a school shooting, cool, whatever, But that's the thing. In Germany that would never happen because they would literally like when I was in Germany, like if somebody falls down the stairs, 20 people stop and help them up the stairs. In America, we just laugh at you, you know what I'm saying, and keep walking about your day. Yeah, I think so. You know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, unless you're like an old lady or something. But like if I fell down the stairs in Germany, nobody would like stop and laugh at me. They would be like, "Oh my God, are you okay?"
You have a really high impression of Germany.
Maybe it's
because I didn't have that impression at all. But
I've seen it. Like
relative to the United States. I don't know, but okay, yeah.
And that's
a different subject.
Yeah, maybe ours is skewed, but I think it just makes it more human, man. Like stop, like just like you said
I
with the cows
think you
and stuff.
say like we're more immune to it, but I think with the animals, it's like we don't have access to it. Like how many people in their life go to what's it called, slaughterhouse, and actually see it. Like we only have. Like we go in the shop and we have the meat prepared. Like there's no connection between the meat in front of you and a real animal.
And how I got there.
And like I often like if I have chicken in here, I don't think like, oh, this was like a cute little animal. It's just chicken or something. But if you make the connection, I think a lot more people would be vegetarian for sure. But
and probably
should be mandatory. Is that the right
mandatory? Yeah.
To go to like every
to
person. No, really.
Like a field trip or something.
I think.
For kids.
Well, maybe not. Like it would be
Older
very
kids.
traumatizing for kids, but like teenagers, I think that would help.
Yeah,
that is true.
It's brutal, right?
Everybody,
because
I don't know if everybody can stomach it. It's hard to make it mandatory. Well, I don't know. It depends on the country, but it'd be hard to make it mandatory.
No, I mean to really have a change in the world,
Yeah.
Because I think so many more people would change
right.
their
because even
diets.
Even that example in Afghanistan, probably the sheep or lambs get to run around free and are treated better than like in most the meat that most of us are eating, and I mean that's like quite like tantamount to torture, like their whole lives. Like if you just learn a little bit about it.
Actually, that's actually.
I mean, they're just treated like shit, like kept in little tiny boxes or cages and.
From day one. Yeah, and it's funny too, because like if you see a dog being mistreated, it's like, oh my fucking God, don't do that. But like, but you don't even think about it.
It's about us. Like we make it about us instead of about the animal.
Yeah.
Humans are shit.
No, the big corporations are shit. It's like I think, of course, there are so many who don't care, but I think. It's just convenient,
Yeah. It's hard when you're
Same
balancing.
with the plastic, it's just convenient, like you cannot avoid it.
Yeah. No, it's a disgusting amount of plastic that they use here, man.
Yeah.
Like Like,
in Thailand.
Yeah. Like, I didn't. I mean, when I was seeing the video, I was like, I thought about it, but I didn't think about it. But then I was like, yeah, kind of. And then I'm noticing the plastic. Like, I think I got watermelon from the shop. They put in the plastic, and then they put that in a plastic.
Yeah.
Like, man, just give me the bag, man. Just give me one bag, take it home.
Well, we think mainly about the plastic bags and stuff, but then like everything you buy in the grocery store is made out of plastic basically. But then we went to shop yesterday to buy flip-flops, and I looked around, and every item, like
wrapped
every
in plastic.
like just to carry it, or you have the coconuts. You know, they chop the coconuts and put it in plastic.
I think that's what it is, though. It makes it seem new and fresh.
Yeah, and I think Thailand, it's a country that has developed so quickly, so convenience is very high in the Thai hierarchy of values, like how they want a comfortable and convenient life, and so this just kind of comes very natural that the more convenient it is to them, like it's an important value.
Yeah. I think it'll come. I think it usually goes full circle. Like you do it, like you're hurrying up for convenience or whatever sakes, but then it's like everything, like even the internet or whatever, when it was coming fast, like all this stuff, let's put a lot of stuff, and now it's like simplicity, make it easy.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
it's funny how it comes around like that, but I think it'll do the same here. Like, let's put it out. Like, even when they're building all this stuff here, because like I came here, I know like when you were here, half of the shit wasn't here, man.
It has changed quite.
Pizza Hut.
Yeah, it's developed really quickly.
All this stuff, but and now it's like, oh, let's get it for the porn. But I think sooner or later it'll dial back, and they're like, Starbucks cool, but like we like the mom and pop shops. Let's stop using so much plastic.
Yeah,
I think I wonder how long
it'll take.
I think like it's maybe not fair to always like keep it so separate, like Western world and but it is. I mean, we in the Western world we started with the shit basically, and now we're like become more aware that it's not good. You know, all these movements start to happen, and maybe then the movements will come here as well.
Yeah, maybe so.
But I think in Asia, like people have much bigger problems than caring about the environment.
Stuff like that. And that's just it. I think it'll come back because like you said, I remember like when I was a kid and we go to the store and like more plastic bags, the better, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like you shop, like give me I want all the bags, and then you save them for doing nothing. But like when I went to Germany, I went to Aldi. Like that was the first store I seen, and like you bring your own bag, you know. And if you buy a bag, it's a recycled bag or something. And I was like, that is awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in
so
Europe
like,
it's
yeah. But now I look at a plastic bag, I'm like, I don't want that. Can I just put it all in one big bag? And just I put it in my gym bag, you know. So there's no bags being used, you know. But it takes a while for it to come back, and I think they'll probably do the same thing here. It'll take them a while, but.
I think it's like you said, the full circle thing. Like when we first had the internet, that was a cool example. Like we had all that flashy stuff. And here, like they're very in Asia, they love to like show off their wealth. You know, like even if it's just a little bit. And I mean, in the United States or in Europe, like we see this as a bit tacky or gaudy, but maybe like 150 years ago it wasn't like. So I think maybe this sort of stuff will take more. Will be more important as time goes on to.
Hey, you just gotta give them time, man. A lot of stuff just go full circle, man.
But it's so interesting how we're just used to certain habits, like now becoming more aware how much plastic I use. I want to change my my lifestyle, and just like small things, you know, just leaving the house and not forgetting like my cup to go, or my water bottle, reusable water bottle, or my straw, all this stuff. And
wait, what were you saying about the refilling these? I refill these. But you were saying that it's poison or something.
No, the plastic, the BPA, it's called, I think. The more you use the plastic, the more the toxins.
Very accepted. It's if you just look it up, like the kinds of plastic in disposable bottles, it's carcinogenic after a while. So if it's old or refilled a lot.
That's why when you buy a reusable water bottle, you have to look for like BPA free and like certain kinds of bottles.
Yeah, I just thought.
But they're like smaller, and I have one, but it leaks as well. You have to find a really good one you can actually carry around. So we ended up having this one as well.
Yeah, but like keeping it for a week or using it 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
Then, because if you look it up, I mean, so much stuff is carcinogenic, though, right? So.
Shit. That's the same. That's like the chemicals in cigarettes. Carcinogens.
Well, yeah. Well, carcinogenic just causes cancer.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, shit, man. When you said that, I looked at my bottle like. I don't know. I know that I remember seeing like BPA stuff like that, but I never really.
If you start like educating yourself, you actually think about it, I don't want to know it.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. That's usually how it goes. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
So good. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, what do you prefer?
I know, right? I was gonna say so.
I think I ate the most, so you guys can have.
No, you're good, man. There's 3 of us.
Okay.
So which one do you choose?
Oh, do I choose?
You're the tie.
Papaya?
Okay, go for it.
Okay.
What do you want?
Are you sure?
I know.
I'm
I don't
looking
care. I like both.
Okay, I'm looking at this pineapple.
Go for it.
All right, good.
So we're all happy. Pineapple is really good, right?
Yeah, man. It's like some of the best I have.
Yeah. So, what's your life like now here?
What's my life like?
Yeah, here in Chiang Mai. Like you just moved here, but like, you're digital nomad now. So, what do you do?
I'm gonna try to speak it into existence. My life is.
I'm reading the secret at the moment.
Oh yeah, definitely. Speak that shit into existence. Keep saying it until it's true. Fake it till you make it. All those good sayings, man. All of them. So funny. But no, now is trying to focus on what I want to do. Also educating myself and stuff. And really, I don't want to. What's the word? Not lonely, but it's like
isolated.
Yeah. See? English, man. I don't even know English. Yes, it's very isolated. Very isolated, yeah. I mean, which is not, it's like not a good, depends on how you look at it. It's not a good thing, but it's not a bad thing. So it's like isolated, I'm isolating myself, but now I can focus on my work, what I want to get kind of accomplished, build my goals out, But also with that, I don't want to be weird when I get around people. So, you know what I mean?
That happens.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
because I went through years of just being very isolated on the computer, and then your social skills kind of go down.
It sucked, man. Like for a while, man, I wasn't even able to talk to people. Like I'd be like, oh, that was interesting. I want to say something, but I don't want to say it. Even like I thought that when I was seeing you doing the video, I was like, I should ask her if she does you. But, you know what I'm saying?
But you did it.
Yeah. But like, but it gets hard like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're traveling because I said it last year. Like I used to, I'm good with that. Usually, like I tell people all the time when people ask me, like, how do you blah blah? I'm like, dude, everybody that goes out, they want to have a good time. Everybody here, 9 out of 10 people in this restaurant, in the house or whatever, they just want to have a good time. They want to enjoy some laugh. So as long as you're bringing good energy, nobody's gonna be like, who the fuck are you? Fuck away and don't talk to me. But we all think that shit in our head, like, oh, they might not want to talk to me, you know? But then I started thinking that. I don't know why this time around. I'm like, fuck, man, like. Don't talk to them. You know, and it's just weird like that. But we're traveling and stuff. Nobody really cares, you know, as long as you're not a jerk. And it was just weird, man. And then I wouldn't talk to people unless they talked to me first. And then we talk about stuff. And then, oh, see, that was easy. And I'd say in my head, see, they talk to me. Like, it's all good, man. But then I'd see somebody else and they looked American or, you know, they spoke English. I'm like, oh, I should ask them if they speak English. No, don't do it. You know, so the isolation gets hard sometimes.
Did you meet some other people who live, like other expats who live here in Chiang Mai?
A couple. Like in my place that I stay at now, like my residence, I met a couple of people. I met a guy yesterday. It was so weird. The coffee shop I go there and I work. Like that's my exclusive coffee shop. I go there, I sit at this certain spot, certain time, and I work throughout the day, and then I go home. So I went in there the other day before I went to the gym, and I see this guy sitting there. He was like half black. I seen him, and instantly I was like, I asked the lady that worked at the coffee shop, who the fuck is that? Like, who is that? What is he doing there? She was like, oh, how'd it go? You know, I was like, fuck. And then he talked to me. He seen I had a Jim Beam hat. It's like, oh man, you're from America? Blah blah blah. And then we talked for like 2 hours, you know. And I was like, oh da da da. And I was like, I told him, I was like, initially, I was like, yo, who the fuck are you? I don't like you. And I was like, see, like, why am I thinking like this? Because I'm so isolated in my what I do every day that I don't, you know, say, hey, you know, hey, what's up, man? Who are you? You know, I come here every day. I never seen you. Da da da. But I think so, like, isolated. This is my life, and don't do it like that. So I'm working on trying to get out of that. But the isolation, man.
It's hard to have balance in my experience with like working online too, because I also work in coffee shops a lot, and sometimes I like want to talk to other people, but then I have to focus on what I'm doing. So I'm like so then I decide not to talk to other people and just like focus on what I'm doing, but then I end up isolating myself too.
Yeah. And it's it makes it seem like, you know what, maybe 5-10 minutes out of my day to say something to somebody else. You know, it won't. It
makes a difference.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it won't
lifts
hurt.
up my mood a lot.
Yeah, but then you're like, you know what? That's 5-10 minutes I could be working. You know, like that's how I think. Seriously, and it's just like just dealing with the balance of both of those. It's difficult. It's fine. But just like I'm glad I talked to you about it. Because just like you said, like for here, you're working all the time, and then it's so stressful. You can get in that mood. So I think I'm gonna be more conscious of not working so hard, or if I'm in a coffee shop and I'm working, like, oh, I'm gonna take a break and get coffee, and you know, somebody's like, hey, what's up, man? I just wanted to say hello. You look like
good for you. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that shit because it's I can get really isolated.
Me too, man. When
I'll get on my computer and I'll be I'll be gone.
Especially, I think because if you're traveling and in a new place, even though, like you said, in Chiang Mai, people are very cool, like and very friendly and stuff. Like you don't have the social foundation or community that you maybe have had in other places that you've spent a long time in, and so it can get easy, and it takes energy then to meet people and talk to people more so than already established friends or family or something. So then, I think that can also, for me anyway, can be like a cycle of being more and more isolated. So,
because you kind of think it's normal.
Yeah, I got these.
Oh.